Good morning, y'all. This is Chris with BilletBox.info, and I'm here to give you a little presentation of a new device that I just received. It is a Harbo-R from Harpy, and this is a collab edition, one of one that they made for me, and it all started with this one. This is a mech version of the Harpy that they created a one of for a contest prize for a fundraiser that they, donated towards. And this is a mech, and I don't use mechs, so I asked if I could buy a regulated version of it, and it's here. I've had it for a couple of days, and came in this nice little box here, and we're going to take a look at it. Well, before we do, let me tell you a little bit about these Harpy Boro mods. There's two of them. There's a mech, and normally they wouldn't have these engravings. There's plain black and plain white Delrin versions of both the regulated and the mech version. And Harpy came from the squonk world, as far as I know, and we're pretty popular with their squonkers. Great, materials, great design, cool graphics on them. And about a year ago, maybe a little longer, they came onto the scene with the Harbo-R, which is the regulated, and the Harpy Mech, which is unregulated. And I didn't get on board with them because, obviously I'm mostly billets. And, 6 months ago, they made this for a contest winner, and somehow it made it into my possession, which I'm very happy with and very proud of. Nice one of one with my logo and everything on it. We'll show you that in a moment. But, so they've done a lot in this industry, in the Boro community, with a lot of different models. There's a lot of accessories, panels. You can change panels out. Which, if you get a full engraved one with special graphics on it, you really don't want to change your panels out, or it'll tear up the design. If I put a black set of panels on that, that would kind of take away from the whole purpose of that. So, anyway, the way you get a Harpy, a Harbo-R or a Harpy Mech, is either through adoption events in their Facebook group, or if in the case of collab versions, usually they let the collaborator, like the one they're doing with me currently, allow them to figure out how they're going to distribute these. In my case, I handpicked 10 people, and I had a list where the top 10 won a spot. So, the black and white standard versions, which look like these, that's the black, or the white Delrin, just standard edition. That's has an RRP of $440 US, and then the black one, which looks like this, goes for the same $440. And then you got a crazy dude over in Germany named Christian Westerman that has all sorts of different collab editions, and I'll show you some of them here with his permission. From left to right, you got two of them from Mission. You've got two regulated from Mission, and then to the right of that, you got a mech, another mech. Just all sorts of them, all the way to this little Nintendo looking one on the far right. He collects the collabs and has pretty much all of them. Well, not all of them, but a lot of them. And he will have one of mine eventually too. But anyway, they've done collabs with, dozens of different makers, whether it be, like a Facebook group or companies, or even people like me, which is pretty cool. Mission, Wicked, BBB, Boro Box Bay, Vapor Bay, Thief, who's I think an accessory maker. They make a lot of panels for them, and obviously, like I said, I've got one coming out as well that looks just like this, except for pink and green. So anyway, let's take you down and show you what you get with one of these and give you a little rundown of the device. So they come in a nice little presentation box, same box for the Mech and the regulated versions. Comes with a little microfiber cloth, a couple battery wraps, a drip tip, which is actually on this one here for this one, but with the regulated one, I decided to go with a well, I've got the flush nut in it right now, but I decided to go with third-party integrated tips. So you'll get most of them, you'll get an authenticity card, Harbo-R and BBI, and then on the back you'll have a QC sheet, which is actually signed by Julian, the guy that does most of the modding on the the modder of this. Get a couple battery wraps, again the microfiber cloth, and Delrin drip tip is in here. And I decided not to use that in this one's case because I'm using this Armor integrated tip. So anyway, that's what comes in the box. Pretty nice packaging, very appreciated. And so here's the device itself. But before we show you that one, I want to show you that they're these are pretty much the same thing. Just a little height difference, and that height difference is basically the chip, the screen and the chip. This sits under here. So it's the same width, pretty much the same dimensions, except for this one's the regulated version's a little taller than the Mech version. When you go inside of them, these panels, there's a little place for you to throw your thumb in there. And this one was actually done for charity, so they wrote Harpy Charity in there, which is really cool. Then on this side, on the regulated one, there you are. You got a little door here that opens up to show this the positive pin. You can actually scroll that wheel and adjust that positive pin, or you can put a flat tip screwdriver there and raise it or lower it. So either way, that's really cool that it does that. So that just pops off. Oops, wrong way. It just sits in there. It doesn't go anywhere. It doesn't rattle. It's perfectly fit. And because this is not a metal mod, to get your negative, it goes across through there, and you can see that wire that goes down into the board. So anyway, that's that side. And then on this side, take this panel off, and you get to where your buttons are at. A little compensation in there. And on this side, you get to where you have this little door here, and there's the same thing. And if you look at the Mech version here, this button is mechanical. It just presses and hits that contact, makes the connection, completes the circuit up to the negative, and boom, there you have it. Pretty simple and very neat. These are all made of Delrin, and they feel pretty solid considering, I don't feel like I'm going to break that, but it has some give, but I don't feel like I'm going to break that. So up here you've got, and these are silver plated contacts, by the way. And yeah, this one here, it's got a flush nut. I'm not really reviewing this, just kind of showing. Ooh, I got some juice down at the bottom there, nasty. Oh, and made in Indonesia across there. And this is the Delrin tip that comes with it. The other one with this one came in white, and this one came in black. So anyway, let's put this one back together. Oh, and one other thing, not that you'd want to, but if you really did want to, you could take, oops, this panel. Oh, actually, yeah, it should be able to, well, at least the other side does. Let's see. Where's the other one at? There we go. one of these fits. Yeah, there we go. I mean, you wouldn't want to, but you can. So, and just to say to show you what I was talking about with the height difference. You know, you don't have a chip in here, so that's the bottom. That bottom kind of lines up here, and that's where all the chip and everything is on this one. So we'll put this back together, and oh, and these are held on with magnets. It fits pretty tight without, so those magnets on this panel pull up against your battery, but the fit. And the fit is so good. I mean, you could easily take it off, but it sits in there really good. It just, you know, doesn't come out when you jiggle on it. That's the drip tip you're hearing. So anyway, but yeah, there's the mech. And here again is the regulated version, the Harbo-R. So going back to what we were looking at, you got the same little setup here with the integrated, or with the flush nut. Just take that out because we're not going to use that, but show you that the threading is really nice. All the machining seems real nice, and as I showed you on those photos, with a with the standard version, you're not going to have this engraving. That engraving is, you know, not real deep, but deep enough, and then filled with black, some sort of black. You know, I don't know what they did the black with, but anyway. What I wanted to show you is on this side, you can, you see these are kind of separated. These are magnets. You can take that off and it's held together by a magnet, and you can just take this button off and you could throw another button on it. These are the same size and finish or style as the billet box button. So I can take that and put this back on here, and boom. Now we have that billet box button, and if you wanted to, you could change this one out, and that's also held on with magnets. So we could put this back together here. Oops, wrong one. Come on, there we go. And now we have this billet box button in there. That doesn't really look good there, so let's just go ahead and put, you know what, we got another one right here. Let me put this mother of pearl button in there. That might actually look kind of good. It won't match this button, but let's do that anyway. Just line it up, put that on there, and they're good and clicky. And here, I'll just throw a battery in to show you. Negative side up, positive side down, slides right in. Somebody is at my door. Harpy. There we have it. And buttons, check it, should say check atomizer. Oh, is this button? There we go. Check atomizer. And then the wattage buttons up and down. There you have it. But anyway, that's pretty much it. Just as far as the looks of this one's concerned. Just got my logos, billet box info, and like I said, that's engraved. And on this side, got a different rabbit, and then the Harpy logo down the rabbit hole in the back. And as I mentioned earlier in the video, oh, that's cool. You can see that through there. When I mentioned it earlier in the video, you can oh, what was I'm getting caught up here with this getting my rabbit face in here. As I said earlier in the video, this is a this one was made for me. I paid I don't remember what I paid for it, but pretty much RP for it. And the collab that I have, which all the winners or all the recipients are paid up waiting on it, should be here in a couple weeks, will be just like this, except for the body. This side will be pink, and then the panels are green, and the lines all still match up despite. So, but anyway, let's throw something in this. This is what I've been using in it, the dead rabbit Panda V2. So you just slide it in there, line it up. Oh, and another thing, it takes, and with the V2 bridged, you want to make sure you don't have a O-ring on your drip tip, because if you do have an O-ring, it's possible that it'll pull and separate the chimney there. So anyway, there we have it. Reading point 39, and this is the integrated, this is the Armor integrated that I've been using, but just to show you that other manufacturers drip tips, this is the OG mission tip. Probably gonna have to I'll probably have to adjust that. It feels loose, the Boro feels loose, so it's probably not gonna be, oh, it's reading it. Yeah, but I still would need to adjust that nut because it's not reading perfectly, because the threading on this is obviously not as long as the threading on this. So but it works, the threading is fine. I'm not going to actually use this, but here, I'll just take the Boro out for a minute just to show you that this is BMM integrated, and it threads in just fine. The reason I took the Boro out is because I don't feel like taking the O-ring at the bottom of that, and it will grab that chimney on this bridge V2, and if it does that, I'll have a dump. So all right, let's throw this together, put this on, and make sure that it's still firing. We're good. And what do we need? Oh, panel. Put it together, and there we have it. So I will bring it up here and give excuse me, give it a good vape. I've had it for 2 days now, and I can't say that I'm disappointed at all. I'm very, very happy with it. Specifically, I love the way it looks, but it vapes really well. It's teeny tiny. Oh, that's something I forgot to show you. I wanted to show you all that. Let me go back down for just a second here. You saw the difference in size of the Mech version of the Harpy. Here it is alongside of a Billet box. It's a little thicker than a Billet box, but it's shorter than a Billet box. You know, thickness wise, it's a little thicker, and it's much more narrow that way. With a Delro, it's about the same height as a Delro, a little bit thicker than a Delro, and yeah, it's more narrow than a Delro. So if you like the size of a Delro, you'll definitely like the size of this. What else? The Cthulhu. It is actually smaller. The Cthulhu is just a tad bit smaller, a little bit thinner, or thickness-wise. But anyway, but it's more narrow than the Cthulhu by a little bit. So now there's no sense showing you alongside the big old 21700 Pulse. But anyway, that is it. Very happy with it so far. Not had any issues. The only issues I've had so far is, you know, I've tried different bridges in it, and I've had to adjust the negative pin a couple times, but nothing you can't work with. I love the fact that you can change. If I had a standard, you know, base model Harpy, you know, the $440 version, you know, I'd probably accessorize it, buy some panels, some cool stuff. But with these collabs, there's no need for that. So, but there are companies that make panels, buttons. Oh, and this button here, this is another one of my gripes. I've gotten to where I'll grab it and fire it just fine now. But for the first whole complete day of having this, I kept trying to fire with this little decorative emblem here that feels like where I should be firing at. But it doesn't fire because it's just a decorative button, which is also held on with a magnet. You can actually replace that with something else if you want. So anyway, I just wanted to give you a quick little look at a Harbo-R and the mech version as well. I used this a little bit, but I'm not into mechs, so I can't really comment on the performance. I mean, it worked. I mean, I put a Boro in it, 0.4 in it, put a battery in it, hits hard, but mechs aren't my thing, so didn't go with that. But really liking it. Really like it. I mean, this is probably one of the smallest. I mean, there's probably something smaller, but it's very small. I mean, really small. Well done to Harpy, and I appreciate them letting me buy this special edition one. Like I said, there are plenty of different special edition versions out there. This is probably just a fraction of all the collabs that have been out there. And this is the black one. This is the white one. There's all sorts of things they can do with it. So anyway, I just wanted to show this one off and give a little presentation of the Harpy. So anyway, thanks for watching. Chris, Billet Box Info. Y'all have a good one.